countdown is underway. Let's start with the highlights from the Duels run last night. This determined the start order for Sunday's 500, and we already know that Austin Dillon will be on the pole. He wants to get through this thing cleanly. Danica Patrick, who was on last year's pole, needs to qualify, finished rather 15th to qualify. Final lap here. Take us through it, Ricky.
So you got Kevin Harvick making a move off of turn 4. He timed it very well, maybe a little bit early. The reason it ends up the way it did is because Kenseth got a really good side draft off of Harvick. Comes through with the win.
All right, Danica is in. She finished 14th. Needed to finish 15th. Second race now. There he is. Jimmie Johnson, last year's 500 winner. Final lap of this one. What happened?
Yeah, look at the 48. It's stalling out. You can see the car losing momentum. All of the drivers behind the 48, they're full throttle. Wide open, we call it. They can't lift, and as a result, you got 9 cars piled in. A big wreck. Clint Bowyer goes on his roof. Jimmie Johnson, they ends ugly.
Here's how it looked from the onboard camera in Boyer's car. Pushed down low, upended, does a complete barrel roll. Everyone walked away. Here are the two winners.
Kevin did a great job of holding back, and I saw the move coming the whole time, but he did it so fast there's no way I could block it, and fortunately I was able to sniff just enough air off the back there to get enough of a run to the finish.
It becomes contagious. We've heard in the past winning is contagious, and for us right now it's what we expect, and every time we hit the racetrack I'm trying to figure out how to get to the checker first, and it's working out for us.
Ricky, one of the big takeaways from the Duels yesterday, Joe Gibbs Racing looks poised to have a pretty good weekend. Who wins the Daytona 500?
Well, I think Matt Kenseth is the driver to beat on restricted plate tracks, and he's got a couple Daytona 500 wins. He had a turbulent start to the week, what we call speed weeks in Daytona, but he's recovered. He's a resilient driver. That's why he's champion, and he bounced back with that win. But in that trio of drivers, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, any one of those Toyotas could roll into victory lane. This trio is really strong, a great fleet of talent. I'm going to challenge you with this. The only reason Denny Hamlin isn't champion today is because of his health and a guy named Jimmie Johnson. Okay? You take Jimmie Johnson out of the equation, he doesn't exist. The same way Michael Jordan, let's say, didn't exist. Guys like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, who are very talented players, had championship rings in my mind.
Yeah.
Same thing with Denny Hamlin. He's underrated. Last year he gets beat up. He's off the radar. He misses the playoffs for the first time in his career, but he appears healthy. He appears poised. He's very relaxed behind the wheel. And most importantly, these Toyotas that Joe Gibbs has assembled are lightning fast. It's going to be a Toyota weekend.
Well, that may get us to this next question. We'll see. Let's go big picture here. Jimmie Johnson, of course, won another title last year. He sits one now behind Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt for the most ever. Who's the biggest threat to Jimmie getting that extra title this year?
The best bet would be any one of those Toyota drivers for Joe Gibbs Racing. Among them, I think it's Denny Hamlin. I think if he's healthy, we're going to see him at his best. I'm never going to discount Kenseth. Again, if we take Jimmie Johnson out of the equation, Kenseth is a 3-time champ. 5 drivers in this series right now that are at the top of my list include Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin. And that only leaves Jimmie Johnson and arguably Kevin Harvick. Those are my 5 drivers I consider the best. The whole thing has been shaken up this year. At the end of the 9th race in the playoffs, you're going to have 4 drivers going into Miami with a chance to win the title. It wouldn't surprise me if Joe Gibbs has all 3 drivers with a chance to win. This organization has continued to gain momentum. They got I think, the healthiest, most impressive fleet of drivers. With all due respect to Hendrick Motorsports, these 3 are in their prime.